Hello, it's Mary here, coming to you from Rivers Bend Sanctuary. And today is Thursday, and usually for Thursdays I've got the Tarot Thursday on my mind. And I decided to do this video, mostly because I received an email this week from a past client, and this past client I had done a reading for back in January. And, she had mentioned how, back then when I did the reading that she didn't understand some of what was coming through. Some of it made sense, but a lot of it did not. And how things have changed, how now she understands completely what that reading was about. So really, let's talk a little bit about psychic readings. So whether you're talking about a shamanic style journey reading like I do, a tarot reading, which I also do, or, regular psychic reading. So how should you read that? How should you analyze or look into the information that you were given? So especially when you're considering taking, the future, any future paths. It doesn't matter what type of psychic reading is being done. It could be tarot, this could be journey style, this could be, just normal psychic type reading. It's all based on the energy. So any of these readings are all energy based. Everything we do in the spiritual world is all energy based. So what we're reading is the energy. We're reading the energy that's happening right now. So even when you do your own reading, like tarot, say you're pulling cards for asking a specific question, am I going to get this job? Is, blah, 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 or how is my future going to be? What's my path? You're reading the energy that is happening right now. That energy that you are bringing out and that energy that is also reciprocated coming back at you from universe, source, God, whomever, spirits. So that's on now. So obviously that stuff can change, right? So if you're pulling, say you pull the Tower card and the Devil card and this, and it could be, yes, you are being manipulated. The Devil card is saying you're being manipulated. You're in chains that are self-induced or that you can easily get out of. And if you don't do something about it, in the future, the Tower card is going to make everything come and crumble down. So you're going to hit rock bottom, right? So say you pull out, the Now card is the Devil. The Future card is the Tower. That doesn't mean that for sure in the future you're going to hit rock bottom, but it does mean if you continue on the path that you're on right now, if you continue to put the energy into what you are right now, then it is going to happen most likely, right? So that also is a warning and an indicator to change your path. And the thing about it too, that is very easy to do, especially with the tarot, is say you pull that, now of Devil and future of Tower. Do your journaling, do your thinking, change your energy, change the way you're perceiving things, change the way that you are going about your day, your thinking, everything. Change that, give it a week, pull cards again and see what falls on that future in the future. See if you can change that. So like for me, when I do, I think the most popular of my readings is got to be the Soul's Path reading. And this is what this woman was speaking about when she emailed me. And what that is a journey. So I do a shamanic journey on the person's behalf, which is basically like a psychic reading, but a little different with how I journey. And then I do tarot and oracle card pulls after, kind of just to build upon what the journey was. And because people love tarot readings, it's easy, simple things. And, what that does is I'm really taking a snapshot of where the person's at right now, and I'm looking in and getting guidance, to see, okay, what tangible steps can they take to overcome any roadblocks, any, self-induced BS that comes up, that kind of stuff. What's their future look like? I can look at what their future's like if they take these tangible steps, or what their future is going to be like right now. And, of course, with these type of readings, it's really going on, take these steps, go, try to do your best, see where you end up coming out. And that's where people, when they'll get, and it's a lot of information. So that's one thing, if you do ever book a reading with me, understand you're going to get, a 5 to 15 minute, depending, MP3 recording that, I explain your journey. And then a written transcript that's usually a couple pages long of your tarot reading, your oracle reading. And it's a lot of information. So you're given so much information on where you're at, what caused you to get to where you're at, where you're heading, what you can do to make sure that where you're heading is a better place, what you can do to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes that you did in the past that held you back. So it's a lot. And some of this stuff really can come out too, like, might say, okay, well, like this person, I see what was it? I gotta look here a little bit. I see a monkey, with the name Elfie or something of that sort. And, at that time, she's like, I don't know what you're talking about, And now, almost a year later, she mentioned she had, a little stray cat that she named Elfie. Reminded her of the monkey. But she didn't think about that until later when she went back and read. And she's like, oh my gosh, she forgot that I had even said that name. And, yes, subconsciously, that could have been something stuck in the back of her mind that came forward. Maybe something clicked. But it's still, these messages can take a long time to come true, and they can take a long time for you to understand them. So when you especially start out doing readings on your own, or you're starting out with reading for clients, make sure that they understand that some of this stuff, and know that, you may get him and her review, not great. You may get crappy reviews. But the thing is a lot of times it's months later this person realizes, oh, geez, and if they're decent people, a lot of times they'll come back and they'll, say, oh, this was awesome, or send you an amazing email saying, it didn't make sense, but now it does. And most of the timeline is usually about 3 months when you do this type of reading. Now, you can set your timeline and say, within 6 months, within a month, that kind of thing. But if you don't, I see that it's normally about 3 months. So it is a little unusual for it to take this almost year. But I have had these wonderful emails that do come through saying, you are so spot on and correct. And it can be too with tangible steps. If you do a type of reading that includes tangible steps for someone to take, if they don't take those right away, that's going to change the timing as well. So, with tarot readings are fun, psychic readings are too, the journeys that I do for people, they are amazing, and they're a snapshot into the right now. They're a snapshot into what's caused you to be there, what has not caused, helped, but kind of caused, I guess, you to get to where you're at, whether it's hindered or helped, but it still has got you to where you're at. And then, of course, where you're heading and where you want to head to a better place, right? Since we all want to learn from our lessons, whether they're failures, whether, they're amazingly extraordinary, we need to learn from these lessons. And this is just an assistance, a help. So any of these readings, and again, any type of reading, you're doing runes, you're doing any mediumship, you're doing connecting in, even talking to your guides, pulling tarot cards, throwing bones, all that stuff. All you're doing is reading energy. So it's just a way to do so. We are just reading energy. And that is what's beautiful. When you can break that down. Even when you're talking to your guides or you're using your intuition and you're pulling in that information, wherever it's coming from is just energy lines. So, and it's like following. If you can connect in and follow that energy line to get the information, that's where it helps. I kind of think of it as, how certain, there's studies that certain emotions or even different sounds can be held in antique objects. And a lot of that is sound waves, right? It's the sound waves, and which is energy. Everything's always energy. So, if we're reading those sound waves, we're feeling the sound waves or feeling the energy waves is really what's pulling in the information. So it's something that anyone can do. It just takes a lot of practice. So take your time with this kind of stuff, and know if you have just received a reading to take some time, really think about it, journal on it. If there are things that don't make sense to you, write them down. Look back in a month, 2 months, 3 months, and practice on yourself too. It's a lot of fun. So if anybody is interested in one of my readings, I am doing the Soul's Path reading. I always do for going into the new year, and for holidays. It's just a beautiful transitional time right now until usually well, about after tax season, then I will usually pull them back unless someone requests. So if you're interested, let me know. And you can find me, go to our website, riversbendsanctuary.com. And that's about it, guys. And if you ever have any questions on specifics on reading tarot or doing shamanic journeys or any of that kind of stuff, let me know. I'd be happy to help.